Okay, Adam Berkowitz here again. Today I'm going to show you a little something I've been working on. I've been playing around with a piece by Michael Lowenstern, who's a bass clarinet player and electronic musician. He does quite a lot of performances. I happen to really like him because my main instrument is clarinet, so that's how I got into this sort of thing. He's got a piece called Aftermarket, and I've been playing around with that, and it's got this nice groove at the beginning. Lovely. And I wanted to see what I could do, and I wanted to try and change it around a bit. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to take a look at an ambient section that he's got and how I switched it around a bit. That sounds like this. Okay, fine. Alright, so we're going to take a look at two things. Using the same basic technique, we're going to use a couple of LFOs to modulate a simple delay, and we're going to look how we can apply both of them, once to this groove and once to a pad that I made out of this ambient clip. Alright, here we go. So here is my LFO and delay effect. So I've got two LFOs set up, one for the left delay on a simple delay, one for the right delay on the simple delay, right over here. So they're both mapped accordingly. When I press play, you can see they start cycling, and on the simple delay here, you see they cycle in different places. Now this is going to be important for two reasons in a moment. We can change how much and where these cycle using offset and depth. As we drag offset down here, you can see that the delay on the left has now changed. Right now it's sticking on 1 because the depth is not sufficient to move off of here. But as we drag our offset up, you can see we start cycling again between 1 and 2, now between 1 and 3, now between 2 and 4. And as we change the depth, we can change how much it cycles. So now between 1 and 5, if I change the offset quite a bit, now between 3 and 8, and so on. And we can experiment with different amounts of offset and depth. We can also switch the waveform around. So right now it's using a rectangular wave, which is toggling between the two numbers. Using a sine wave, we sweep between the numbers, which is kind of interesting. Up and down, do a similar kind of idea. Triangle is similar. Let's stick with our rectangular wave for a moment. I happen to like that one. You can see here that I've also set the phase on each just a little bit differently so that they're not exactly in sync. And that gives us a nice little difference there. So now let's play our little groove again from the beginning. Here we go. And let's turn up the wet dry. So now we've got kind of an echo going on. And now let's add a little punch. And just for kicks, let's turn the wet dry up to 100% to hear what's really going on. Yeah, that's too much. And if we turn this, you can see it. Okay, very nice. Let's turn off these for a moment. Now let's see how we can apply that to this pad that I made out of this. If we go back over here, I happen to like what he does there with, oops, I didn't really quite mean to have this on. Just stop going for a moment. So I made this out of it. It's a very long pad. I stretched everything out using MIDI and then resampled it. Okay, let's turn this down. Now, we're going to do the same thing. So let's turn our LFO back on and our simple delay back on, and now let's hear it. If we turn the wet dry up some. Not much of an effect, I'll admit, for the moment. But now we're going to do this. Over on the simple delay, we're going to switch from fade to repitch. And now it's going to act sort of like a tape speeding up and slowing down. Now, for my ears, that's a little bit not so great. But if we turn the wet dry down some, and if we EQ it just a little bit, in that case we get the basic idea of the pad with just these little extra things going on, sort of in the almost like in the background. So we don't hear too much of it, but we get just enough. All right, that's all for today. Thanks very much.